Peace and love, my friends, and welcome. I was just chuckling over British summertime, where it's 1 p.m. in the time zone, but it's 11:30 a.m. by the sunshine. So that means high noon is at 1:30 p.m., which is wow. Thanks for liking and subscribing, my friends, but mostly thanks for being here live and by recording. This morning, we're going to pick up a little bit with the Yoga Sutra number 1.35. Accessing the subtle body, your auric self, your soul, your Atman, your prana, your chi, is a matter of mental concentration using the breath and a single mental focus to train the brain, resulting in extraordinary perceptions, extraordinary perceptions. This is what happens with this practice and encourages the steadfastness, the quiet, the silence, the single mind. Containing the mind with breath and with mental focus is brain training. It's not the object that we're after itself with a capital O. It's not the divine being that the practice, it results in access to that, but the practice itself is the containment of the mind in a singular object. And then the object with a capital O, the God, the divine being, Allah, that object, it's felt tangentially. It's the ungrasping, open-palmed path of attainment and expansion of perception, leading to self-realization. This is how it works. So when I was a Boy Scout, one night, at summer camp, one of the leaders brought all of the troops together, hundreds and hundreds of kids, to a darkened field and told us to stare at a star. So we all stare at this one star. And then he says, in your peripheral vision, you can see this other star. And we all could. He said, now look at this other star. And when we looked at this other star, that star disappeared. We were all surprised. He said, now stare back at the original star. We all stared back at the original star, and that peripheral star appeared. When we looked directly at it, we couldn't see it. But when we brought our mind and focus on the single star, we could see it. This is how this works. Single-minded meditation, it allows for extrasensory perception. But that perception is not the object of the practice. The object of the practice is single-mindedness so that this other thing can happen. Single-minded meditation, it heals us from the inside out. It steadies the mind, opens perception to the light within and without. And it comes with the hand seeing, the eye hearing, the ear smelling, this singular perception, this energy itself, this auric self is developed as one unit. And through our normal perceptions, that one unit, that oneness, that energy is perceived, it's felt. And also, this kind of meditation practice brings calm to both the mind and the body, providing a sense of peace and tranquility. So it's got other benefits besides mental focus that you can use all sorts of places in your life. One single subtle sense perception, one single subtle sense perception comes as a result of this. It's 5 senses in one. And let me explain this a little bit. When I died, all of my self was one thing. My thinking, my perceptions, my self-understanding. I was a singular entity that was coherent. When I came back, my senses on the other side all coalesced into one sense. Yes, I still see and hear. I don't hear music. I don't have synesthesia, although this is a type of synesthesia, I guess. But I hear the light with my ear. I hear it in lots of places, poetry, music, the rustle of the wind in the trees. I see it with my eye. I see it in the hearts of people. I see it inside of animals and nature and beauty. I taste it in blueberries and raspberries and roasted corn on the cob. I touch it. I touch it with a sense of outside myself. My sense of touch extends further than just what my fingertips can feel. And all of these subtle senses, all of them are one sense and a singular minded practice of meditation that aims at quieting the mind, results in the feeling of this subtle body, the feeling of your auric body. I'm not talking about trying to see it and imagine it. I'm talking about actually feeling its presence, the tingle, the warmth, the I don't know how to describe it. When you feel it, you know it. Ancient teachers, their wisdom gets passed down through generations because it's valuable, because it works. I wouldn't be bringing this to you today or any time or any of these things had I not practiced them myself for 40 years. I'm telling you that they work for me. They'll probably work for you. Today, we're going to do a little bit of mental practice. And before we begin, I'm going to say hi to folks. Kristen just found out that samadhi has different meanings in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. It totally does. And this is the problem with language across religions, across mystical experience, is that the word doesn't always mean the same thing. Well, we find that in Christianity. One Christian thinks this means one thing, and the other Christian thinks it means something else. Same word, same thing, true, in all these other religions. It's a troublesome thing. The most fortunate part of it is that the experience itself is always oneness. And because it's inexpressible, it gets expressed in all these different ways. Hey, Maggie. Hey, Wes, Amy, Lynn, living for joy in Long Island. How wonderful to be sharing this experience in this beautiful moment. Amen to that. Thank you, me too. SOA, Soa. Oh man, what deceived you concerning your noble Lord, the Quran? Nothing deceived me. My noble Lord is the one I experienced on the other side, the oneness of being, the presence of love, the beneficent, the benevolent, the sustainer, the creator of all there is, the maker of me, and so much more. The light itself. The divine created me and formed me in proportion. All right, my friends. So, as you meditate, you breathe in and you breathe out. And you concentrate on your chant, on your prayer, on your mantra. So, you're using your breath and your mind to concentrate on a single subject. So, the single subject is the concentration. That's the subject. That's what you're after. And the breath and the chant are tools to get there. At the bottom of your breath, and we talked about this a couple of times over the last week in different groups that I run and participate in. At the moment that you stop your inhalation, there's a little tiny space there. And then the breath reverses. And the same is true at the top of your breath. At the very moment of exhalation, at the very end of your exhalation, there's a little space there. And so in the practice of meditation, a helpful tool to sense your subtle body is to pause at the top and the bottom of your breath. It's that simple. And while you're pausing, you can feel your body. You can feel what you feel like when you're out of air. You can feel what you feel like when you're full of oxygen. Back and forth with the breath, with a pause at the top and a pause at the bottom. That little space, that little tiny space is a place of silence, a place of quiet. In that place is the access to the divine. Other places too, but in that place is the access to the divine. So by concentrating on our physical body in singular focus, we gain access to our subtle body, our prana, our chi, our chakras, our soul self, because we're quieting the mind, because this singleness of silence becomes the dominant part of ourselves. All right, let's give this a whirl. I've got till 8:30. Hope you do too. 8:30 our time. In whatever shape he willed, he assembled you. The Quran 72:8. This is true. Absolutely. Evaluate. We're 34 minutes west of GMT, so full moon here is 2:04 p.m. in the summer. It's not even 1:30. Oh my gosh. All right. Wow. What humans do. Well, we create the idea of things. So it's not real noontime at 12 noon. We create an idea of noontime at 12 noon. That's what we do with language around the divine as well. We create language, which is why samadhi means these different things in these different cultures. But the oneness experience of the divine presence is always the same because it's the same everywhere. And there is nowhere that it isn't. All right, let's jump in. My feet are flat on the floor. Do a little bit of lead in here. Breathing into my feet. Running up my calves and my thighs and my back. My shoulders are relaxed, down my palms. Pausing at the top of my breath. At the end of my exhale. Inhaling again into my belly. Expanding my belly. Pausing at the exhaling. Listening to my breath. Pausing at the top. Inhale. Feeling your body. Pause, exhale. Add your chant. I'll be silent. Control long breath. Peace and love, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thank you for the Quran readings today.